favourite moment in the entire show is where India applauds young Mozart, and it just cuts back to her and she goes,
No, I don't!
it is my favourite moment.
To have a discussion with hair and makeup and to discuss that we were going to have wigs that were made out of dreadlocks and have wigs that had textured hair and plaits, and that's really important for representation.
I was completely enthralled by delving into a character that would have the space to really impart change on society, because that is the thing that fulfills her more than a man could ever.
Hello, India and Corey. How are y'all doing today?
Pretty good.
Pretty
How
good.
about you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to talk about your two characters, you know, the young King George and the young Queen Charlotte.
Your marriage is the business of this country. This cannot go wrong. This is my home.
How did you balance approaching the character from a historical accuracy standpoint, but also adding your own creative portrayal for the character?
I mean, this isn't a documentary. We're not recreating history, we're retelling it. So I didn't try to bog myself down with the research. I did my research around Charlotte and who she was, and I read some literature, and I went and I kind of engrossed myself in the world where she walked around in Kew Gardens in London. The research was great for an actor's point of view and from an actor's standpoint, but it didn't influence character really at all.
One thing in my research and also in the show that portrays is that, you know, George and Charlotte are both really heavily into the arts, into science, into music. Did y'all share any of these qualities with your characters? Corey, I'll throw the question to you first. Were you really a farmer, George, before?
I mean, look at him.
Look at me.
Fit for the field.
Exactly. It's my field fit.
Oh, nice.
I'm not too into farming. Shock.
No
Don't say.
way.
Shock, horror. I love looking at the stars, but I'm not an astronomer, and science could be absent from my life, and I wouldn't mind. But yeah, how about you? You into music or astronomy?
I am into music, not so much into astronomy.
Charlotte was pretty into music.
Yeah.
My favorite moment in the entire show is where India applauds young Mozart, and it just cuts back to her and she goes,
No, I don't. He was actually playing.
It is my favorite moment in the show.
He was really good. The little kid that played the piano was so good. I didn't do the head wobble. Stop it.
It's so good.
Well, that's all the time that we have today. Thank you both for joining me. It's been a pleasure.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
Thank you so much.
How are you doing today, Golda?
I'm all right, thanks, bro. You?
I'm doing sensational. I was excited to talk about the OG Queen Charlotte that you portray.
Yes, my friend, yes.
Your flower metaphors make me nauseated with their sweetness, but I applaud your point.
I didn't really know too much about Queen Charlotte before the start of this show, but I think, and this is what my research has told me, that this is the first time that she's been portrayed as a Black woman. What does this representation really mean, specifically for people of color and even more specifically, Black women?
I think it's hugely important. Charlotte has a history, as you have discovered. I don't know whether you discovered that she has more in her from Portuguese descendant. So me portraying her as her is a very natural thing. And to have her at the top of the food chain, as it were, in a period drama, and to make that accessible for Black and brown people to see themselves is really important. To have a discussion with hair and makeup and to discuss that we were going to have wigs that were made out of dreadlocks and have wigs that had textured hair and plaits and tease out my own hair to incorporate it into a wig. That's really important for representation. That's really important for me as Golda Rochevelle. It's really important for me as the actress, and it's important for the character that I'm playing to be seen, you know? And for that representation to go out into the world, for our stories to be told like that, as authentic as we are, is hugely important.
And I would agree. I would definitely agree. And I think your representation of Queen Charlotte is amazing. It's amazing, and it speaks to the amount of care that was put into the show, into developing the character. And you mentioned, the costumes and the set design and the hair. I don't know if you could tell, but I'm huge in the fashion, and a lot of those pieces look amazing. But were they a pain to get in and out of?
Not necessarily a pain to get in and out of, but to create Charlotte, it takes about 2.5 hours to create what you see, on any given day. But that journey is really important for me, the actor, to be able to step into her and have a filming day with her.
Was there any pieces or outfits that you wanted to keep for yourself that like this looks too bomb on me?
I tried to stay away from those kind of feelings because, listen, I'd have to have like 100 warehouses, if I was going to take that stuff home. But I think there should be an exhibition that tours the world.
I agree. There was some of the pieces of jewelry were just absolutely amazing. I was like, yes, I need that.
Yeah.
I can't afford it though.
Yeah.
Golda, thank you for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
You're welcome, sir. You too.
Hi, Arsima. How are you doing today?
Good, I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing sensational. Excited to talk about your character, the young Lady Danbury.
Yeah, she's a character.
She is. And honestly, something that really struck me was how Lady Danbury was able to finesse in her cunningness. She wasn't always in the most advantageous position, and she had to really, outwit some of her contemporaries to get what she wanted. And it made me think about all the powerful women in history that might have not gotten the credit that they deserve just because they were overshadowed by a man. And I honestly want to get your thoughts on this. Did you come to a similar conclusion?
I mean, yeah, I think the position that Lady Danbury plays is, I couldn't help but think of Black Panthers, and that being one of those moments in history where men really became the face of a movement that was led by women. And so I was completely enthralled by delving into a character that would have the space to really, you see her do the work that's in the shadows, and how revealing and exposing is that to show kind of the reality of what it takes to impart change on society. You see her essentially become a martyr for the cause. Like, she'd rather do nothing else but fight the fight for other people, because that is the thing that fulfills her more than a man could ever.
It's powerful. And I love that you brought that up. So, as I mentioned, Lady Danbury, she had to do a little bit of finessing, specifically with the party she's trying to throw. What kind of party would you have thrown? What kind of music? Would it be themed or anything like that?
Oh my gosh, if I had to throw a party, it would definitely be themed. I love a good costume party. If we're talking Georgian era, like a Hallows Eve ball, everybody's in masks. I've been told many times, I'm not good at curating a guest list because I just invite everyone. And a lot of the times I'm like, I don't think about who will gel or not. Because I think—
Gotta be exclusive. Gotta be exclusive sometimes.
I know, you're right. I'm going to be now. I'm going to have to go through, but it would definitely have to be a bunch of esoteric, very fringe people, essentially— I'm talking the den of iniquity that Lady Danbury talks about in season 1 is essentially what I would do for a ball.
Wow. See, you're throwing a lot of SAT words at me right now. Your vocabulary is immaculate.
Thank you.
Unfortunately, that's all the time that we have today. Arsima, thank you for joining me.
Oh, thank you so much, Kwam. Thanks.
Sam and Freddie, how are y'all doing today?
Yes, very good.
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm not gonna lie. I do not envy any of your jobs because it feels like it was the most stressful situation of all time. But I want to know, between you two, who do you think had the worst job?
Me.
Well, I don't know.
Ooh, contentious.
I don't know, because just like our characters,
you've divided us.
Yes, divided us. I think both characters have such pressure, so much pressure on delivering for the sake of the crown and the future of the country. I'd say they're on pretty even playing field.
It is an even playing field. But one thing I would say is both of their issues would be a lot easier if they just spoke about them.
Yes.
They'd
stop withholding information from each other and just try to deal with it together.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that one.
Yeah, well.
But I love your character's dynamic, though, even though y'all were definitely being really shady to each other. But it seems like Brimsley and Reynolds could be like best of friends, if not like lovers. If they were to start a business together, what kind of business would they have started?
I think we would
that's great.
train the finest butlers in the country together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he lives and breathes what it means to be a butler. So I think, I think you're right. We'll be some sort of butler training camp.
And Reynolds would also teach people how to ride horses.
Very good at riding horses.
Yeah.
What was some of your favorite moments while filming?
I think one of my favourite moments was towards the end of filming. We were at Blenheim Palace. It was a location we used twice. It's the most extraordinary building, and we were on a very long night shoot. And it was the shoot where we were doing the ball at the end of the series in episode 6. And what was so nice about it was we'd been shooting for 5 months or so, and all of the cast were there because we were all involved in this particular segment of the show. And we just sort of celebrated it together because we knew we were slowly coming to an end and we were going to be finished soon. And it just felt very special, I think, to be doing that particular scene at that point.
It was completely amazing as friends to experience that.
Yeah.
We watched the sunrise together.
We did afterwards.
Delightful.
Yeah, I'd say that's one of the best moments.
Well, sensational. I mean, so if you could give your characters any piece of advice, what would you tell them?
Communicate. Communication is key.
Yeah, communication is key, and I would say it's okay not to be okay. Along the same vein.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I feel like this is life advice everyone could use.
Absolutely.
All right.
There you go.
I do as well, to be honest.
Well, thank you both for joining me. It's been a pleasure. Take care.
No,
Thanks,
thank
Graham.
you.
Have a good
Cheers,
one.
Graham. Take care, man.
There is reason they wanted me. Why me?
Charlotte, but there are worse fates than marrying the King of England.
It is time we were united as a society. You will make lots of babies. As many babies as possible for my son.
My life as queen was difficult.
I'm Brimsley. I'm always with you, Your Highness.
Brimsley, tell me about the king. Is he ugly, perhaps deformed?
He is the king.
Yes. And?
Hello, my lady. Are you in need of assistance of some kind?
If you must know, I'm trying to climb over the garden wall.
Whatever for?
You refuse to help a lady in distress.
I refuse when she's trying to go over a wall so that she does not have to marry me. Hello, Charlotte.
Your Majesty.
To you, I'm George. I realize you have no reason to like me. But if you will give me one evening of your time, it might make you hate me a little bit less.
That's a reasonable idea.
The pieces fall into place.
Your Majesty, I'm Lady Agatha Danbury. I'm to be on your court.
And we shall be great friends.
Be careful. You are the first of your kind. You must secure your position.
Where is the king?
The king cannot see you now. Charlotte, I require privacy.
She is his wife. She should know.
There is nothing to know.
I need to know what is going on at Buckingham House. Your marriage cannot go wrong.
What's happening?
I do not want to fight.
I want to fight with you. Fight with me. Fight for me.
Your Majesty, your focus should be your country. You are our queen.
You are breathtaking. You break rules, court scandal, and the most royal person I've ever known.
It is you and me. Together.
Love can bloom from the thorniest of gardens.
Your flower metaphors make me nauseated with their sweetness, but I applaud your point.